first movie.
Yeah. But,
Road trip.
For our opening review, I'm going to turn to Emma and Bella. All right, so we have a guest reviewer. We're doing some kids' movies. So we brought a child on and a tire. So we brought Emma and our old friend Robert from the movie Rubber. But we picked Emma off the street, right?
Yeah, I live in a dumpster.
Good to know. Mm-hmm. All right, so Emma, you went with us. We got you out of the dumpster, and we brought you with us to go see the Muppets. Did you like it? How did you feel about the Muppets?
It was okay. It wasn't a fantastic movie. I'm not into musicals, really.
Why? Why don't you like musicals?
Because I like movies. You're not supposed to listen to a bunch of songs. You can do that on an iPod.
You're just taking after your father's cynicism. So you didn't like the music?
No, not really.
Yeah. What did that do for you as a whole? Because there's a lot of music in this movie. So did that take away from a lot of it? Was there some stuff you liked? I'm not leading you at all.
The music wasn't good in my opinion. I didn't like it.
Yeah. You didn't like the music. What about those parts of the movie where they weren't singing? How'd you feel about those parts?
That wasn't really good either.
It wasn't really good. So you said okay. This doesn't sound like an okay review.
It's not a terrible movie, but it's not a good movie.
Why?
Because I don't like musicals.
So what?
And
it wasn't awful, which means that you must have liked some part, right?
Not really.
Not really? But you're not willing to call it. You're not willing to call it terrible. But you didn't like any of it.
Well, nothing was like terrible. Like some movies.
Like what movies might it be better than?
Lots.
Like what? Can you name one?
Harry Potter.
What? It's not better than Harry Potter. Robert is very mad right now, by the way. He is a big Harry Potter fan.
I haven't seen Rubber.
You haven't seen Rubber?
No.
No, you should watch it sometime. It's a kid's movie. Oh.
What is he doing here?
Your chihuahua followed you in here, Emma. Seriously, you think it's better than Harry Potter, or were you just messing with me?
No, it's like the first Harry Potter. I didn't really like the first Harry Potter.
Okay, all right, so it's better than the first Harry Potter.
The last Harry Potter, it wouldn't be better than the last Harry Potter.
Okay.
Mainly because the last Harry Potter has a lot of special effects.
All right.
But
let's just try some. I thought some random kids movies. Spirited Away, is it better than that?
No.
No. Okay.
No, really
M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender. Is it better than that?
Way
better than M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender.
Yes, I hate that movie.
Is it better than Winnie the Pooh?
That depends.
That depends?
Yes. Winnie the Pooh isn't like a musical, but it's like weird and
yeah.
It's a kids movie. It brings back a lot of memories, but it's not like one of the movies I would watch.
So you got to pick here, Emma. Is it better than Winnie the Pooh or not?
I guess. Yeah.
You think it's better than Winnie the Pooh?
By a little bit.
How dare you? It is not better than Winnie the Pooh, Emma. All right, we're gonna turn to Robert now. Robert, what do you think? Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us, Emma. You're wonderful, and we will hopefully have you next week when we see Hugo. Brian? Yeah.
I haven't laughed this much at a movie in quite a long time.
Really? Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I was dying. It was just the humor was great for adults, which is really good for a kids movie. If you can't make adults laugh at a kids movie, it's a failure. So I feel that,
it's one of the toughest things about making a kids movie is that you can't just.
And one of the things that Pixar has raised the bar on.
Mm-hmm. I think making it PG is basically the key factor there. If it was a G-rated movie, then it's just more little kid humor, and it's not as wide an audience.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I was really pleased that they sang like Rainbow Connection. Mm-hmm. They one of the things I really loved about this movie is they give enough send off for the fans. In the sense that it's the basic Muppet structure. Mm-hmm. It's updated. mainly in the sense of like they haven't been around for a while, so a lot of the jokes are the fact they haven't been around. But it's not like they don't try to make it like it's 2000s. We need to do something super different. You know, they're still doing a variety show. They're still singing and dancing. You know, and yet they're still doing slapstick. So they're still able to still relate to this world and show you that this type of humor still has a place. You know, that family-friendly humor that can reach across generations is still really, really good. And I fully enjoyed it. I loved it just completely. And I love anything that has a musical number in it. So it's just awesome. That's just, I'm a sucker for that. But Muppet movie, it's another, didn't break any boundaries, but who cares?
Well, I cared. I have two very different reactions to this movie. I thought the first 2/3 of the movie was extremely disappointing. I didn't laugh once. I thought it was boring. I almost fell asleep. I was like, I should just walk out of the theater.
You were wrong.
The first 2/3 of the movie are terrible.
No, they're not. They're amazing.
No. The worst part about the first 2/3 of the movie was Amy Adams dancing in the diner.
The last 2/3 of the movie is absolutely...
Jason Segel didn't dance.
Yeah.
They're like, I get this sense like somewhere through production they're like, they found out he couldn't dance and they're like, all right, you just stand there and go.
Yeah.
While everyone behind you dances.
The last 2/3 of the movie is absolutely brilliant. Amazing. Once they get to the variety show, then it's the Muppets that I loved. It's hilarious. Like, once they get to that song where Jason Segel is singing, Am I a Man or a Muppet?
Oh, that was amazing.
Or Segel. Jason Segel. Not Segel. You got me saying Segel. Jason Segel.
Would have been good, too.
Saying Am I a Man? That's when, like, the movie shifted into brilliance. So, like...
All right. So, before Flick Chart this week, we are going to listen to Nate's review, because you guys all voted, of the new Twilight movie. So Nate, Tame Jacob Griffiths, is now going to tell us his opinion of the movie.
It was one of the most painful film watching experiences I've ever had in my entire life. It was quite atrocious.
You have no idea how happy that makes me.
It was so awful. I mean, I had just gotten off like a 12-hour shift at work. Like, it was horrendous. And I had to drive to go see this movie, and I had to walk in. It's at every theater. And it's literally just me walking to this theater in, like, khakis and, like, a decent, like, plaid shirt and, you know, and tons of just tween girls all around. And cops. Tons of cops. So
looking at you like, why are you here?
What are you doing, young man? Yeah.
We're going to be watching you closely.
Yeah, and then I had to sneak into the wrong theater because the ticket that I had was not the same ticket that your wife and your daughters had. I illegally watched the new Twilight movie.
On opening night.
On opening night.
For it.
I paid for it.
You paid for it. But no, that doesn't matter.
Yes, going into the wrong theater. They're all starting at the same time, so heaven forbid he's in the wrong theater to watch this movie.
Nobody freaking cares.
The narrative requires the illegality.
Literally, it like you just walk in the theater and it smelled like strawberries and puke. Like, it was one of the most
They saw you walk in by yourself and they're like, ooh, single man.
Man flesh.
Some woman is like yelling, when's the movie gonna start? And like, I mean, comic book crowds are more patient. And then crazy. And Taylor Lautner loses his shirt in 30 seconds and people are clapping. It was bizarre. It was horrifying.
Movie.
Awful.
Okay.
It's atrocious. It's extremely boring. There's literally boring. A movie with like 20 minutes of sex scenes should not be boring. At the end of the movie, all right. I just tell you what happens.
Werewolf falls in love with the baby.
Yeah, a werewolf falls in love with the baby. And some people will argue that's not what happens in the book, but that's what happens in the movie. And the other bizarre thing is Edward performs a C-section on Bella with his teeth. Because
awesome.
They can't get the baby out with a scalpel because for whatever reason she has a placenta of steel. And so he has, but you literally just see him like go and just rip this baby out. And I can never get rid of that. That image will never leave my mind.
I'm glad we can give that to you for the rest of your life.
It was awful. And then the movie ended. Like that's the end of the movie. And I ran. I got out of that theater. It was horrible.
What's his name? Jackie Chan. He was telling Jaden Smith to take his jacket on and then take his jacket off.
Yeah.
But all he was saying was, jacket on, jacket off, jacket off.
I actually really like that movie. Until you said that.